Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Hey sister, this is Dr. Karen Osborne. Listen, I'm going to talk to you for 30 seconds before this episode begins about my next Women Wanting More live event. This is 2.5 days of women just like you being pushed physically, mentally, emotionally, getting really clear on what they want, knowing why it matters, and leave with the tools to actually put that into action and being part of a sisterhood. So if this is something that really, really resonates within your heart, sister, I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com, click on the Work With Me button, and we can start the application process. I look forward to hearing from you. Here's that episode. All right, sister, so I'm going to best of my ability describe an experience that I just had in yoga class. So if I'm sounding like I'm sedated or I'm like on drugs or something, it's because I'm post 90-minute bikram, which is like hotter than hell, yoga class, soaked, drenched in sweat, driving home. So here we go. So if you're familiar with bikram yoga, you'll have a little bit more context, but otherwise I just want to explain to you something in one of the poses and postures that came up for me today. Now, yoga is this beautiful blend of physical. I love Bikram yoga because it's physically hard. I do not do well with oming, chanting, being still, just breathing yoga. Yoga is yoga, but this is the form of yoga that just works best for me, right? Fits who I am. And so one of the floor postures is called camel. So I'm going to describe this. So you are on your knees, and you are basically going into like a backward bend, okay? So it can be a couple things. So you have your hands on your lower back. You are on your knees. You're slowly, so you lean your head back. You reach down towards your feet if you're able to. And you're basically like a human bridge. So if you're familiar with yoga, it means your chest is up in the air and your hips are pushing forward. I first started doing Bikram yoga years ago. This is even before I became a mom, so I'm trying to think how far back. Probably about 10 years ago, maybe even 12. It was a while back. Yeah, I think maybe 12 years ago. And so I went to classes once a week for a long, long time. Stopped doing it. I just kind of went to, I'll call it regular hot yoga classes and other yoga. And then I'd really been off track with yoga since Tyson was born, so for about the last 6 years. And then moving back to Victoria, before I started boxing training, and I was like, I got to find CrossFit again, because I've been doing that for 8 years and lifting most of my life. And there's this Bikram yoga that's 3, 4, 5 blocks from my house. I'm like, perfect, I'm going to check this out. And I'm just in love with it again, love it. So in the past, when I would do camel pose, so again, as a recap, standing up on my knees, facing towards the front of the room. I have my hands on my lower back. I tip my head back. It's all very slowly. So it's like you're putting your head in extension, right? So looking back and reaching down towards your feet. And if you're able to do that, great. If not, you just keep your hands on the lower back, but I'm able to do that. And you're pushing your chest up towards the ceiling and your hips towards the front of the front of the room. Again, my brain's a little mushy post-yoga. So in the past, when I was doing Bikram yoga, that pose, because it's a real, kind of in yoga terms, very heart-opening pose, okay? It's very vulnerable. Your heart is wide open. And in the past, when I would do that pose, or anything similar that had any component to heart opening in it, sometimes I would feel this well of emotion. And often it was just something that needed to come out. It was sadness, it was anger, it was hurt, it was something. But it's a very vulnerable pose, and so it kind of opens up. And it's not uncommon, you're going to feel that type of emotion. And so in the past, when that would happen, that's because I lived my life very numb. I stifled a lot of stuff. I didn't express things easily. I would wait and stuff all my emotions down, and then they would just bubble up, right, at any kind of time. And so being in yoga class And that kind of pose and posture would often kind of open things up. And so as I'm doing the pose today in the class this morning, and as I'm like, it's one of my favorite poses, like I love it. It's just so like open. And I realized as I'm doing that, what I felt in my heart more than anything was just gratitude and joy. Like really pure joy. Probably going like, who the hell is this? Bring Karen back. She's turned on us. She's all soft. All right. Seriously, I want you to hear this. Listen, there's different sides of me. There's different sides of you. I'm the same Karen. But let me just kind of explain this a little bit further. So, again, in the past, there would be so much stuff that I would just push down, right? I'm fine. I'm the strong chick. I can't show any weakness. I don't want to be vulnerable. That's not powerful. Like all these stories that I had about what that stuff meant, right? Plus, I didn't really have the tools. I didn't have some of the life experience, but more so the tools and the coaching to really help me, like my coaching has over the last year. And since Ed, my husband Ed and I kind of started on this journey about a year and a half ago. And it was just such a realization of how much work that I've done, of how far that I've come. Actually, I'll put a link in the show notes to the episode I had, which is called exactly that. Look how far you've come. That the gratitude was just like, it was towards myself. I was just so grateful for everything that I've done leading up to this moment in my life. And that the me that is Karen was very much can be like boom with anger, can be boom intense, can be boom with joy, and intense with gratitude. Like intense is who I am. I literally wear my heart on my sleeve. And so what a lot of people don't know about me is I'm actually very sensitive sometimes. Like I can cry easily. I'll laugh easily. I'll get angry easily. I'll feel sadness easily. Like, I have all these sides of me, but yet the biggest thing that really came to me this morning is how open I am to feeling them all and experiencing them all and not stuck on the stories of, well, I shouldn't be this way because I had this picture of me, which was like, again, if I show these things, whew, that's weak. Or you know what was more real? And this is what some clients will tell me. If I really opened up, I was so afraid as to what I was going to see and discover. It was scary, right? And I had used a strategy of let me just kind of close myself off from most people in my life because, like, I've done it before, with myself up, and you've hurt me, and so fuck you. And so now, although I'm very mindful of who I'm around, I do not associate with people that do not support, inspire, uplift me, love me. And if they turn into something different than who I thought they were to be, then they're no longer part of my life. It's pretty black and white for me with that. I'm very clear. But it was just such a cool experience this morning to be like, I've done a lot of fucking work. And guess what? Here's the biggest piece of this too, sister. It doesn't stop. I don't go, whoo, I arrived. Look at me. Like somehow I'm enlightened Karen. And by the way, if someone fucking, that is like that, like somehow they're this guru and they've arrived, I got news for you with that one, sister. They were probably the biggest not that. But that is the picture they put on the outside. Because you don't have to appear that way. You can just be that way. You can just be it. So here's your more tip for today. I almost stopped because I'm like, ooh, this is going to still not sound like me, but I'm going to say it. Here we go. Where do you need to open up your heart more in your life right now? Where do you need to open up your heart more in your life right now? Is it with your marriage? Is it with your children? Is it with your work and your business? Is it with yourself? Where is that? Spend 10 minutes, journal, and see what insight comes up from that. And then send me an email, drkaren@drkarenosborne.com, and let me know what's come up for you with that. I look forward to seeing your email, sister. So here's what I want you to do next. I want you to head over to drkarenosborne.com/live event. You'll be able to enter your name and email, immediately watch the 7-minute Women Wanting More live event movie, what I'm now calling the More Experience. Amazing. 6 women. You're going to see what happened during that experience. You're going to see 5 of the 6 women that I've interviewed afterwards to see, hey, what is still happening for you 4 to 6 weeks later? and the one thing that they all gained on the other side of that, which I won't say. You got to watch the movie and see the interviews to really discover that. So listen, I've had a lot of you reach out to me and say like, oh, I really want to apply for the next live event. Cool, you know what? You better get your ass in gear, sister, because I don't know when the next one will be after this one. Like, this is not a sales strategy, like create scarcity and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's not. I just don't know. My coaching practice is changing so rapidly right now. I'll be honest with you. It's a shit ton of work to put on a live event. Tons. I loved the first one, but it's a lot. And I know it's a lot for you to move your world to get to a live event. I did the same for me, but guess what? It mattered to me enough. I fucking made it happen. So if you, after watching this, or you've heard me talk about the live event for like the 50th time, or just like, oh, just stop doing the one day someday. Get your fucking ass to Victoria, BC. Be eyeball to eyeball with me and 5 other sisters. Very small event, 6 women, that's it. 2.5 days. So you'll have a chance to actually apply for the live event when you opt in, watch the movie, and then watch the interviews. And there'll be a chance to do that. You're going to fill out an application. It'll take all of 10 minutes. You and I will get on the phone then within the next 2 to 3 days and have a powerful conversation and really see if you're a fit. This is by application. Probably there's 95% of you that apply and just 5% that I accept. And that's not an exact science, but that's about the average because not all of you are ready for this yet. But if you are feeling like something is calling to you, fill out the application, sister, because I don't know when the next one will be. I seriously don't know. And there is no someday, it's now. It's now or never, sister, it's now. So I will talk to the next episode, sister, and just know a life of more is one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.